This content is produced by DarkNetBreaker, a cybersecurity and dark web education brand. All videos, posts, and content are strictly for educational and awareness purposes only. We do not promote, support, or encourage any illegal activity. Our mission is to expose digital threats, protect online users, and educate the public about cybersecurity risks in the modern world. Stay ethical. Stay protected.
Most of us maintain a specific set of digital habits to feel secure. We keep third-party antivirus running, we dutifully change our passwords every 90 days, and we trust that a company's compliance badges mean our data is handled with care. But the cybersecurity industry often operates on a doctrine of misdirection. Many of these essential practices are legacy carryovers, providing more comfort than protection. When an organization focuses exclusively on offensive red teaming or rigid audit checklists, they often miss the broader security fundamentals. This creates a scenario where resources are poured into visible defense, while the actual paths an attacker might take remain unmonitored. By focusing our attention on these high-profile, complex threats, the industry inadvertently blinds us to the simple, repetitive ways that digital systems are actually compromised. One of the most persistent technical myths is the absolute necessity of third-party consumer antivirus software. We're told that a standalone subscription is the only thing standing between our data and total compromise. For most people, paid consumer antivirus is no longer a technical requirement. Modern operating systems now ship with built-in tools like Windows Defender or Mac XProtect, which handles signature-based malware just as effectively as the paid alternatives. This reliance on outdated logic is even more visible in corporate offices, where users are forced to rotate their passwords every 3 months to satisfy internal policy. These policies actually degrade security. Because humans struggle to memorize entirely new, complex strings 4 times a year, they default to making the smallest possible changes to their existing credentials. This shows the predictable pattern. When the system demands a reset, the user makes an incremental shift, changing password 1 to password 2. An attacker uncovering the initial password easily guesses variations. It gives them a predictable path to regain access. A more effective approach is to generate a single, highly complex, unique password and keep it active indefinitely. This eliminates the predictable patterns that attackers rely on. These technical best practices often prioritize a vendor's brand relevance or a manager's ability to enforce a policy over the actual security of the user. These misdirections exist at a systemic level too, beginning with the heavy corporate reliance on compliance. Passing an audit framework like SOC 2 is a baseline requirement, but it isn't a guarantee of safety. An organization can check every box on a compliance list while still being vulnerable to basic social engineering or technical oversights. We see a similar pattern in the way the industry recruits, specifically regarding the cybersecurity skills gap and the claim that millions of jobs are sitting unfilled. In reality, companies demand years of specific experience and established professional networks that most newcomers lack. This leads to a bottleneck where thousands of qualified applicants are ignored, even as universities and certification vendors use those high job numbers to market their programs. This creates a profitable cycle for the training industry. Students pay for materials, lab access, exam vouchers, and renewal fees to keep credentials active. But because the industry prioritizes real-world expertise, these expensive certifications often fail as advertised career starters. This issue is amplified by social media accounts that normalize 6-figure salaries for entry-level workers, often as a way to sell a specific coaching program or course. The industry has built artificial barriers and checklists that generate revenue, but these often distract from the practical, human-centric realities of digital defense. We often imagine digital breaches as the work of high-level specialists, using complex code to take over a television network or a power grid, but the majority of successful attacks are far less technical. They rely on human susceptibility and simple mistakes. This is social engineering. Attackers use trickery and psychological manipulation to bypass the most expensive firewalls. If a person can be convinced to click a link or hold open a secure door, the complexity of the network's encryption no longer matters. True security comes from moving away from consumer AV subscriptions and predictable password resets. It requires ignoring the certification hype and instead maintaining a rigorous skepticism of every digital request you receive. Effective cybersecurity is a state of constant, disciplined skepticism. It is a mindset that prioritizes verification over trust.